This week, the Nebraska Legislature is expected to vote on LB 574, the Let Them Grow Act. Now, this legislation would protect children in Nebraska by prohibiting puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and gender reassignment surgeries for those younger than 19. Now, this is the exact topic we were just discussing with the Attorney General of Missouri. Now, debate over this bill began today after an unusual and unprecedented filibuster by one member of the legislature who compared this bill protecting children to genocide. Now, the bill needs 33 votes to proceed on cloture, and the current party split of the Nebraska Senate, which they just have one body there, it's a unicameral, means it would need at least one vote from a Democrat senator. This just underscores that elections matter, especially local elections. So how can citizens of Nebraska, and I know we've got a lot of you listening and watching in Nebraska, how can you help? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. Joining me now to discuss this and more is the principal sponsor of LB 574, State Senator Kathleen Kauth. She represents the 31st District of Nebraska. Senator Kauth, welcome back to Washington Watch. Good to see you.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, it's been a long road to get to debate over your bill today and hopefully a vote this week. Did you expect such resistance?
We knew it would be very difficult. It's an incredibly emotional topic. Everyone believes that they are acting in the best interest of children. We're just looking at it from very different sides. So we knew it would be very, very difficult.
But the rhetoric seems a little intense to accuse those supporting this bill of promoting genocide, being Nazis. That seems a bit much.
Obnoxious hyperbole to get a lot of national media attention. That's how I view it. This has become much more self-serving than I would have hoped for a state legislator dealing with some difficult issues.
So this is not happening in a vacuum. I mean, we've got across the nation, we have 87 bills related to transgender issues moving their way through. Just this year, so far, we've had, I think, about 5 of similar bills to yours that have been signed in to law. Well, in total, not just this year, but we've had a number of move through legislative bodies this year. So just for the benefit of our listeners and viewers, explain exactly what the bill does.
So LB 574, Let Them Grow, prohibits puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and gender-altering surgeries on children under age 19. 19 is the age of majority in the state of Nebraska. And what we are trying to do is encourage that psychotherapy, encourage them to work with counselors to figure out what is actually causing the gender dysphoria. Because we know, looking at in the European countries, they've done a lot more reliable studies. And what they've shown is that kids who are allowed to do watchful waiting, which is therapy without affirmation, without pushing them into any of the chemicals, they have an 85% desistance rate, which means by the time they get through puberty, they're no longer considering themselves trans. And so we want to give these kids every opportunity to let their body grow, to let their brains grow, to let things develop more fully, and work through the issues that they're experiencing. A lot of times they have coexisting mental issues like eating disorders, autism, depression, that are really complicating what's happening.
Yeah, and again, this is not isolated to Nebraska. Other states are moving measures like this too, and I was correct. It's 5 of these bills that have been signed into law this year. So is the resistance just really among a handful, or do you think you're going to get support from the other side of the aisle on this bill that protects children?
The resistance is very clearly delineated. We do have one Democrat senator who has been with us from the start. This is something he actually is rock solid on, because for him, this makes sense. I mean, this is a common sense bill. You don't allow children to direct their health care when it's going to involve mutilating their bodies, changing their chemistry with hormones, and changing it with puberty blockers. There's no study that shows exactly what happens. and how bad that can be or how good it can be. So we're relying on unreliable evidence.
Right.
And so we've got one Democrat senator who has come over. We're working on just keeping our coalition really tight.
So that's the reason for the filibuster. They know the votes are there to pass it if they can move it forward. So we've got a lot of listeners and viewers in Nebraska. How can they help? What's the call to action?
Well, and our coalition is looking at some adjustments because some of our coalition members had some concerns. So we may be trying to get to an amendment. If we are able to amend on the floor, we will reduce some of what we're asking for. And this is the first step. So we will be coming back next year to introduce it more. I would like to point out that our state board of health issued yesterday a statement about the use of hormonal manipulations and surgeries to alter or to treat gender dysphoria is not recommended in the state of Nebraska. So now our health board is coming on board and saying, this is not good stuff. So what people can do to help, pray, call in, call your senators, tell them thank you. Thank you for doing the right thing and supporting it. Let them know how much you appreciate them working at this. We have been getting lots of love, but we've also been getting a lot of hate.
I can imagine. And we'll encourage people to weigh in with their senators. Senator Kauth, always great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.